Everybody. I have it just a couple of minutes after 6, and the Marine in me wants to stay on schedule, and I know we got a couple of minutes behind because we had an awesome book signing by Sean Harper, and just a phenomenal presentation coming up here shortly where, he's going to tell a great story about winning, really, is what it's all about, and that's what we're going to be talking about, too. One of the things that I would like to do, if we could, before we get started is I asked my two boys from the Boy Scouts of America to come join us tonight. So some of you saw my two kids. This is Carter and Andrew here. We'll see in a minute. But they came and joined us from Scouts, and I asked them to come join us, and we could start the evening by doing the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody could take a minute, maybe just please rise, that'd be great. And you boys can come on up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome, everybody can be seated. So why I got you here, this is, most of you guys are familiar. I've been talking for years about my two boys, but you can see they're getting a little bigger and bigger. So Andrew over here, Andrew is a sophomore in high school now and goes to Anthony Wayne. Also plays hockey, and he's just finishing up his current rank. Next he'll be working on his Eagle Scout, so we've been on a great journey together. We finished up this summer. We went out to Marathon Keys in June, and 16 of us rode out to a deserted island and lived on an island for a week together. So we had a great time out there. And this is my youngest son. This is Carter. Carter had some incredible news today. So this is a hockey tryout season. Both my boys also play hockey, and I heard the great news that he made the team today. So that was cool to make the cut. He's also been on a scouting journey with me since he's been a little tiger in Scouts, and he just crossed over into Boy Scouts, so he just got his first rank as a tenderfoot and continues to work on his scouting adventures as well. So thank you so much, boys. Great to have you here. I'm going to spend about 30 minutes just giving some updates. I'll talk a little bit about things that are going around at our office, around the America's Retirement Headquarters, a couple different new technologies that we have available, show you some cool digital things that we've rolled out as well. A couple of the different news and interviews and some neat things that I have had the opportunity to do along with tonight interviewing Sean Harper and talking with him about the winning edge. Earlier this year, I got an opportunity to do an interview with Coach Mike Jarvis from the NCAA, holds some incredible records in talking about why you need a head coach. Just in June, I was able to have an interview with Staff Sergeant David Bellavia, who is a decorated war hero who fought in the battles of Fallujah, and he was one of the first groups to go in and to take back the town, and got to listen to his story and literally just banging down doors and fighting bad guys, and talking about how that transitions into being a disciplined life on what he lives today. And as a lot of you know, I served in the Marine Corps in between wartime, but just love meeting awesome people like that, and just blessed to be able to have a conversation with Sean tonight as well. A couple things that I did want to say thank you. The theme that we had for this event was making an impact. We've had 10 great years in a row, from a business standpoint, just from a growth on what we've done as a company. We've also just, financially, if we think about the markets and the impact and the great news in the markets, I'm just hopeful that the next 10 years continue on as good. We'll see what Darren has to say, but if you think about it, when we were thinking about the concept of this event, I couldn't think of a better idea than having a conversation about making an impact and trying to make a difference and step up. And as I have met so many wonderful clients and had an opportunity to just talk to a lot of different people, it's just so wonderful for me to hear the stories of those people who are out there literally making an impact. And I guarantee, I'm not going to do it any justice because of so many of you guys already doing things that, I didn't even get a chance to recognize, but I know your stories and the things that you've done as well. But a couple of the things that I did want to recognize tonight, some of the people who were able to join us is we've got Jammies for Grammys and Pants for Gramps. Vicki Swan, her mother fell ill and she ended up in a nursing home, and she would go visit her mother. And what she noticed in spending time with her mother is a lot of the people that were residents there in the nursing home were walking around in robes, and it's kind of embarrassing a little bit because your back's hanging out. And so she took it upon herself to start that charitable organization. And what they do is they, raise money for pajamas, and she takes pajamas to the local places in town, and also sweatpants. So for anybody who brought items, I saw a lot of them out there. I thank you so much for that. If you want to stop by and say hello and look at some of the other things, or if there's any things that if you're coming in the office and you want to donate any pajamas, new or gently used, you can just bring by to the office. We'll make sure that we get them to her and get them to a good cause. Of course, I couldn't go wrong talking about the Boy Scouts of America, something I'm very passionate about with my boys and helping them grow up to be good, strong young men. And thank you for some people who have bought some popcorn. If you need some popcorn on the way out, I think they have a couple of other tins with them there for Scouts. The Alzheimer's Association is really our premier sponsor. They're going to be sharing their story a little bit today. But if I think about the impact of the clients that I serve, and you probably out there think about the friends and relationships and even the family that it's just such an important cause. It really impacts almost all of us. And just learning about the resources and how to kind of get a little bit ahead of the game, and the different things that they can offer, I think that's why it's so important to be able to hear their message, and I invited them to come along. The last organization that we have here is Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And if you came in and you had an opportunity to see right outside in the door here, you saw a bed that was set up. And Mike Horvath is here, and him and his wife had set that up. And what he shared with me when he came in a couple of weeks ago and we had a conversation, he had told me that there's 400 kids in Northwest Ohio that currently go to bed right here in town without a bed to sleep in. And so once he found that out, he went out to his garage, literally got his tools out and started building, beds to try to help out all those 400 different organizations or 400 kids. And there's probably another 400 or 600 or 1,000 more, right after that. So it's just an incredible worthy cause what he's doing and going out there. So I'd encourage you tonight, if you have a little bit of time after the event's over, if you wanted to stop by and visit with them, please do so. There are some donation envelopes if you feel so you do want to make a donation. I have some donation envelopes here. There are some out there. Our company is also going to be doing a matching contribution. We'll match 100% of donations raised tonight. So whether you want to give $10, $20, or $100, or whatever you feel so blessed, if you do decide to do that, I'll personally match 100% of those contributions up to $2,500, because I do really believe in what they're doing, and I think that's important, and together we can make a really big impact. So I am glad that they are able to join us. We've also got some great news, just from a business standpoint with, winning awards. Winning feels good, winning is great, and we're doing a lot of great things. In Mature Living, we were recently recognized as the runner-up for the best wealth management firm in Northwest Ohio. We also were the runner-up for the best insurance agency in Northwest Ohio. Wealth Management Magazine, we just won the award for the industry-wide Best Practice Management Program. So this event tonight is part of that practice management program that we have. A lot of the folks that you see here in the room that are wearing the purple shirts like I am are licensed financial professionals that have come here from all over the United States to join us for this event. We've been hanging out for the last couple of days doing some coaching programs and just talking about building big businesses. So if you get a chance to meet some of the people in the shirts, make sure you say hello and find out a little bit about what they're doing. And of course, we have our vendors over here that have some great things on what they're doing to help me out and help out our clients and help you guys out. So a lot of those names are probably familiar to you, but if you get an opportunity, you can meet some of the people. In Investment Advisor Magazine, we were also on the cover of Investment Advisor Magazine last month. We were also recognized as one of the fastest growing independent broker-dealers in the United States, and we took a runner-up as Broker-Dealer of the Year. So a lot of you know our background and the things that we've been doing, so thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm very blessed, and I really, really appreciate that. And you know, if you think about the things that I've had going on and kind of the explosive growth in our business, it's just been, you know, really, really incredible in the fact that, you know, 8 guys sat down with an idea and a concept back in January of 2016, and that was to really go out and kind of change the industry and help financial advisors experience something different that they could go back into their own market. And I am blessed in the fact that here we are just 2.5 years later, and now we have, you know, 80 different people have affiliated with our company, 80 different really locations around the US of financial advisory firms that we serve. And part of my role as one of the managing members and one of the owners of the company is, you know, I spend a couple days a month traveling to meet with other financial advisors. I do a lot of national speaking on different stages on various financial planning topics and coaching and mentoring. But as much as I've given out and helped to try to teach other financial advisors, what I have done is I've got 100% more back in return and being able to learn from other financial advisors. So when I go out to Topeka, Kansas, or when I go to Austin, Texas, or when I go to San Diego, one of the things that I look for as a financial advisor is I say, well, you know, what is Dan Neiman doing extremely well in his market? You know, what is Kyle and his group down in Atlanta? What are they doing really well? And the neat thing about that is what I have basically done now is I have copied all of the best of practices that I feel are in the industry today, and I've packaged them all together for you guys, our clients, to make sure that we have the most advanced technology, the tools and resources of what is in the industry working right now. So I am spending a lot of time, you know, maybe a couple days a week, you know, hoping and helping and coaching and teaching other people. But again, I think from us as a client standpoint, you know, we're able to get so much more in return from that. What we're rolling out tonight is we're rolling out what is called a digital dashboard. We have a new website. If you haven't had an opportunity to check it out yet, it's America's Retirement Headquarters. So we created a concept for the overall building that all of you have been at. You know, our building is about a 21,000 square foot complex. Within the building is the Retirement Guys formula, which a lot of you are familiar with from the investment management arm. Of course, Camelot Portfolios is in there. Munn Wealth Management is in there. We have the tax planning practice in there. We have the estate planning, you know, all the way down to helping people out with Medicare subs. So we wanted to create a concept and an idea for really what we offer inside of that, and that's where America's Retirement Headquarters website came from. So that website is now up, running, and live. If you get a chance, you can go take a look at it. A couple of neat things, if I go over there and take a look and show you on the website. Come over here on the kind of the main screen. You know you're at the right spot because you can see it's kind of a flyby of our office and the location that we have here. A couple of things that we have done and we've put together is we created a video library. Within our video library, we have videos that are actually posted here, and those videos are recordings of me talking about things like, you know, what a life leverage plan is. You know, some people ask me, well, are annuities good or bad? What are annuities? I talk about annuities. Some people ask about, well, what is the investment strategy going on within Dividend Kings? You know, so we have the different videos. So if there's ever a time that you want to go back and watch the video again and learn a little bit more about some of the concepts and ideas that we're talking about, we have those on there. We also recorded our economic summit that we did earlier this year. A lot of you were able to attend that summit, but if you didn't make it to the summit, we posted the entire video on there. So if you want me to maybe put you to sleep at night, you can go home and watch that video. And then this video is also being recorded too, so for those folks who aren't able to join it, or if there's something that you liked and you wanted to share or go back and revisit, we've got the video library on there. Then we also have about 29 different industry videos on other concepts and ideas posted within our YouTube channel. I would encourage you to go over there and spend a little bit of time and just kind of poke around and take a look at some of the things that are out there and available for you. One of the other areas that I want to highlight on the website is our Clients tab here. Within our Clients tab, what we have done is we have created a financial dashboard for you folks to be able to get all of these different tools and resources that I talked about from what other financial advisors were using that we packaged and put all together for you. We also have some clients that unfortunately are going to be leaving us here pretty soon because they're going to take off and go south when the rest of us, has to stay back here when it gets cold out. And for folks that are down in Florida, or if you're traveling, if you're out of town or somewhere else, we wanted to make it really easy and available for you to be able to do conferencing. So over here we have the technology where you can get the Join Me, so I can share screens with you. We have a live chat feature, so during normal business hours, if you are on there and you have a question, you just want to live chat with somebody from the office, you have that opportunity that you can make that happen. Or you can just email us in the traditional sense if it's a Saturday and our office is closed. If I scroll down here, what I did is I took and I compartmentalized the different types of tools and technology that you all now have available to you. And all of this tools and technology, for all of our clients, there's no additional cost or anything. It's just an additional value add that we can help you out with. So if we look at things, we broke things down into like a discovery process. One of the things in the discovery process is we have some advanced financial planning software. Within the advanced financial planning software, what it allows you to do is it allows you to go in there, you can network in your household accounts, it'll automatically update your investment portfolios based upon being able to log in and look at your accounts. It'll also run what is called a Monte Carlo analysis, so it'll look at thousands of different outcomes that could happen, like what if the stock market crashes? What if the stock market does good? What if you get sick? What if you get hurt? What if you live long? What if you die early? And it'll tell you what the probability of success of your portfolio is. It'll then help you optimize that, and then it'll also show you what the 10 biggest dangers are that you could be facing. That way you and I can have a conversation about making sure that we eliminated those risks. So if a healthcare crisis is the area that wipes you out and we can identify that, then that's a planning tool that we can use to make sure that we eliminate it. From a research standpoint, we have the tools and resources available through Morningstar. We use Shaken Analytics for individual stock analysis. If you have stock portfolios, a little bit of an update on some history of tax rates. Then we move into the planning phase. So overall, the majority of you guys are, somewhere within this category. Everybody here that is working with our firm has an investment policy statement, and it's really important to know your number. And with knowing what your number is, you know what your risk score is and what the possible outcomes are. The next software that I want to highlight is a portfolio software that we have through RetireUp. This is brand new software that we have available for you. It is, again, financial planning software. I'm just going to skip to one of the favorite sections. There's a lot of information inside of here. This is a portfolio of somebody who recently came in. This particular individual had a portfolio risk score of 71. Once we completed the questionnaire, his goal was to be at a risk score of about 48. So it shows his portfolio is maybe a little bit too risky for where he's at. The good news about that, the market's been doing fantastic, so he's obviously benefited from some good runs, but if and when the market has a downturn, he's maybe at a little bit higher risk than what he wants to take, so it's a good time to be able to evaluate should we do that. This chart here is based upon a Nobel Prize-winning strategy on the efficient frontier. So it's hard to see because there's such a big audience, but the further you move out this way, the higher your risk is. And the further you move up this way, the higher your potential growth is. So as we're building out portfolios, a lot of times, people are going to ask Darren tonight, well, what do you think the stock market's going to do in the next 6 months? And I don't want to steal Darren's thunder, but at the end of the day, even the smartest guy with a chartered financial analyst, the market doesn't really care what his opinion is. So our job is trying to maximize by putting everything together so you have the best possible outcomes and the best possible way to win. If we looked at this portfolio and we were looking at it, this portfolio, when they came in, it fell right there. If I simply drew a line from this to that angle, what it would tell me is that this particular portfolio, the way that it was constructed from the get-go, was taking more risk and not getting compensated in return. If we fell on that normal angle, it should be up here. then that allows us to get together with our portfolio management team and take a look at this and say, look, how can we reconstruct this portfolio and how can we drive up these results or lower risk? The neat thing is this software also ties into the portfolios that we already have, so it allows us to come in here and instantly adapt portfolio. This is one of the cool things about how incredible technology has come today, and that's why we've made such a significant investment in making sure that we have all of this technology available for you guys. Again, I'm just picking a quick product on the fly here just to show you kind of a concept, but you can see if I dragged and dropped and moved some money into a different portfolio, you can see the outcome that could be possible that this client could experience. So this client could get a very similar total return, but he could do it by taking substantially less risk. And so if that was the outcome that he wanted to have, by doing the portfolio optimization, we can have those outcomes. Now, your portfolio, it may be different. Your portfolio, maybe you want to take more risk. Well, if we wanted to take more risk, we would just want to build a portfolio that drives it up this way. So all of your portfolios, anybody that's here, if you wanted us to analyze the portfolio and do the analysis on it, we can make that happen. And we can put that together and do the analysis. It actually ties directly into your investment policy statement. The other thing that I did is I made sure a lot of these technologies, they communicate to each other, so they talk to each other. That way, we're not creating multiple, implementations of different planning processes. Really, really cool stuff. How about tax rates? Everybody know that 2008, the Trump tax laws went into effect. There's tax law changes that are different today than where they were in the past. We have the software that's Tax Clarity. Of course, I'm not an accountant, but we have multiple ones in the office, as well as Ron, who a lot of you work with too, and Ron does my taxes. I can take your tax return from 2017, we can put it in our tax analysis software, and we can determine exactly where you're going to fall at in 2018 under the current tax law changes. So this particular individual had taxable income that was adjusted gross income after their deductions down to about $33,600. So you can see from a visual standpoint exactly where this client fell out from a tax bracket. But this client has an effective tax rate of 2.7%, and there's not another big jump in taxes until they come all the way over there to about $100,000. So I don't know about you, but this math to me seems like it doesn't work out for the long term. You can't continue to spend massive amounts of money and create this unfunded liabilities in the debt situation that we have, yet have still one of the lowest tax brackets ever. The good news is there's something that you can do about it. So if you think about your own family's individual situations and you feel that at some point there might be a different administration that has a different opinion about where tax rates should be and what your fair share is, by doing this tax analysis, we can take a look at what can we do now under the current tax laws to minimize your taxes. So that Tax Clarity software is something that we can run the analysis for, and keep in mind if you're going to make changes on your taxes for this year, you'd need to do that obviously before the end of the year. Moving in down to the account access, of course you still have access to all the regular things that you become familiar with, such as logging in directly to your accounts at Charles Schwab, or account performance logins like you do if you visit our website. The other thing that I'm going to highlight down here is our new monitoring system that you have available with you through WealthGuard. We have the retirement GPS system that a lot of you are familiar with too, but one area that I'll highlight is what's called WealthGuard. So WealthGuard technology, if we go through and we talk about your investment policy statement and the outcomes that you want to have, and let's say that you and I, in doing that, decide that, hey, 15% is all that I can take. If and when the market goes down, I think we need to have a conversation if it's down more than 10%. Using the WealthGuard alert system, we can do it on your portfolio or individual accounts, and what we can do is we can set up those parameters that will measure exactly that. If and when your portfolio ever reaches one of those alerts, it'll alert you and it'll alert us to make sure that we have a conversation about where your portfolio was and make sure that it's time. This is what we agreed upon to make some adjustments. So it's another great system that we have. For those of you who aren't clients here, or for those of you who are clients, that maybe you don't have all of your funds with us, maybe you have a 401k or some other type of an investment account. The other neat thing is with that technology that we have available through WealthGuard, we can set up that alert system on your account, whether it's invested with our firm or not. No matter where your account is at, whether it's a 401k at work, we can alert you, which then alerts me for us to have a conversation about that account, just to make sure that we're keeping it monitored. Again, with the markets doing an all-time high and all-time records, I hope this continues on for an awful long time to come. It's a lot easier for me to get together with you guys when the markets are doing well than when things are doing bad. But you can see that we're taking proactive steps to be ahead of the curve, knowing that if and when the storm changes and it starts to get a little bit cloudy out, we have all of these things available for you. So unfortunately, I only have about 30 minutes for my presentation, so I could talk all night on this stuff. What I would encourage you to do is I encourage you to get on the website there, americasretirementheadquarters.com, and really just check out some of those different tools and resources that you have. Something that we are going to be doing, if you like that concept, on the first Friday of November, we're going to be hosting an open house at our building where I'll be walking through the software and I'll spend an hour presentation. So our first Friday event, the first Friday in November, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we'll be hosting an event to go through those tools and resources available for you on the digital dashboard. We've also spent a lot of time working on driving down cost for our clients. The Iron retirement portfolios, we've been able to get the expense ratio down to about 11 basis points versus the current industry average right now is about 1.25. Dividend King's expense ratio is 23 basis points. And then we've also been working directly with Charles Schwab on a list of roughly 300 no-load, no transaction fee portfolios. So really cool stuff. From a year-end checklist, again, there's a couple things to take a look at, things that I would encourage you to do before the year wraps out. If you want to look at your taxes and you want to think about maybe converting some of your money over to Roth IRAs or tax-free accounts, I'm more than happy to run the analysis for you. All I would need to do is just make sure that I have a copy of your 2017 tax returns. Required minimum distributions and charitable planning. Luckily, I'm probably far enough away that she can't hit me from here, but Courtney does a fantastic job on required minimum distributions, and I know it's a lot of work for a lot of people, and she does a great job, but if you haven't taken your RMD out, we'll help you on that. Update though, in regards to required minimum distributions and charitable planning, if you're over 70 and a half and you feel blessed enough that you're already philanthropic, maybe you give to your church. Maybe the organizations here are important to you. Maybe there's a cause or something that you're already giving to. With the changes in the standard deductions, you may be better off donating directly from your IRA, your required minimum distribution. It could be better for you and it could be better for the charity. So if you donate to any type of charity and you're over 70 and a half, let's please talk about how that could impact your taxes, because again, the standard deduction doubled, which means a lot of people aren't going to be able to deduct those charitable contributions. But for required minimum distributions, we can show you a way on how that can be possible. Last thing is Retire Up. If you want to see if your portfolio is optimized exactly where it needs to be, whether you're looking for higher returns, more growth potential, whether you want to make sure you're not taking too much risk, we can take your portfolio and your investment policy statement, directly import it to Retire Up, and make sure that your portfolio is optimized. Where we're heading in the economic cycle, I won't get a whole lot into that. I'll let Darren talk a little bit about it. My issues and concerns I would be talking about would be rising interest rates, the long-term return of the stock market, continued growth, and future tax rates. From an industry update standpoint, what I would say is that there are finally starting to get some higher rates that are out there. It's been a long time since we've had anything that I would refer to as higher interest rates. All the way from the money market rates at Charles Schwab, we're working on trying to make sure we have the best money market rates available. We also have higher fixed rates. Right now there is a 3% fixed rate for 3 years, which I have not seen that for a while. So if you have any money that is coming due or money that's just setting aside, those are areas that we can help you out with and make sure that we can get you some better rates. So if you have anything under 3% and you want to talk about it, I can show you where the rates are at the industry. Cash rates on 100% liquid money at Charles Schwab are now up to 1.91%, which is incredible. I haven't seen that in a while. The dividend yield on a portfolio of Dividend Kings is still 70% higher than what the SPY or the broad S&P 500 index is too. So those are great things. Even with the rise in interest rates, some of the other bond alternatives that are out there are extremely attractive right now. So we're really starting to see some good rates coming back. So if you're worried about rates and cash flow, you want to talk rates, we've got some great updates that I've seen so far in the industry. So what's next? You know, finishing up on a couple different things. In October, we are launching our program. It's called Retirement Wealth Academy. We're teamed up with Retirement Wealth Academy, and we'll be teaching a 2-night course at Bowling Green State University at Levis Commons. Anybody here who would like to attend the Retirement University, it is going to be a Tuesday and a following Tuesday. It's 2 hours for the first night and 2 hours for the second night. I'll be covering general financial planning topics. You guys are all welcome to come join me at Bowling Green State University here at Levis Commons. It's about 1,000 feet away. If you look out back, it's right there. So I'll be teaching that class coming up in October. We'll get you those dates out, but it's October 23rd and October 30th. It's 6 to 8 p.m. As I mentioned, we are going to be doing First Friday, that's November 2nd from 1 to 3 p.m. We get a lot of great feedback from our clients and what is called our Client Advisory Board. It's this time of year that we hold our Client Advisory Board where we share what our future vision is for 2019. Anybody who's interested in serving on our 2019 Client Advisory Board, please let us know. All it really consists of is about a 1 hour, 90-minute meeting where we get your feedback on the things that we're rolling out for next year. And then in February is going to be our next economic summit like this. So interesting enough, in February of 2019, it will be the 25th year anniversary of being licensed in financial services. So a lot of you know that I got licensed while I was still in high school at the age of 18. And here it is 25 years later. I'm a little grayer, but so we're going to plan something really incredible for February. So we've got a lot of great things coming up and a lot of excitement. We're going to be handing out green sheets after you get done with dinner. We didn't want to put too much out right now, but when we get done with dinner, we'll hand out those green sheets. Any of the information that I talk about, you can just mark on those green sheets. If you turn them in later, we'll make sure that we get you all that information. But so I can keep us kind of on track. I know I got started a couple minutes late, which then put me just a couple minutes late, but to get us kind of back on track, I'm going to go ahead and turn my presentation over to Darren Munn at Camelot Portfolios. And again, just thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope you have a great night and appreciate it.